I carry my words under my eyeballs. Bags weighed down heavy with poems I haven't written and a tongue too tired to scream anymore. My stomach is bulged with hours of conversation I've left to rot away, and under my nails is the dust of every unsent letter explaining why I'm still awake after 3 a.m.s. I am guilty of treating alcohol as an escape. Attaching myself to the first thing to come close enough, lace my lips and insecurities and leave prints of them on the neck of a bottle or a boy. Either way, I wake up feeling like I've made the wrong choice. Each of my teeth is a chest containing unbridled anger, and I have the uncontrollable urge to clench until they crack when my feet touch the ground. They do their very best to leave no impression, to leave no reminder of my existence here in this gravity-pressed point in space-time. As a child, I was the loudest person in a room. I did everything I could to swell and take up all the space as possible. Since then, it has been 3 Fridays since I turned old enough to drink, and 156 Fridays since I turned old enough to kill. Dad called yesterday. And 1,000 unsaid sayings run through my mind. A part of me wants to scream. To say things like, Dad, most days I am more of a poet than a person. Dad, I love you, but I hate all the parts of me that are you. Or Dad, I'm sorry I'm nothing like what you wanted yourself to be. Or Dad, you can call me every other day, but we haven't spoken in 9 years. My father is excellent at changing gravity. He makes the words too heavy to lift out of my throat, holds them there till they get stuck, so I hide my thoughts in places they do not belong. Tuck in my feelings under my tongue and close tight to muffle the screaming. I've opened up pockets in my wrists to place my memories. Sometimes I have to reopen them again to feel good. The insides of my palms are inscribed with the names of people I haven't let die, and I've waited too long to try and wash them away. The fine print of my poems has an X beside the signature because I don't have the strength to commit to my own existence. My father squeezes silence into every conversation we have, so I've become very good at swallowing my words without choking, at shrinking into my shadow so light won't catch me. I am more than used to making everything seem insignificant, everywhere else but on a stage. This is the only path to immortality I know. To you, tonight, I tear open wounds that will never heal properly. Allow you the first pick of my flesh laid bare. I show you all the little scars that never closed to let you stare at the inky blackness I have left. And I say to you, if poets never die, if all I am is a voice on a stage and the only place to continue to live is in your memory, please forget this poem. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond that binary of the internet. Welcome back to Neon Lights Roleplay, and more specifically, after so long, welcome back to After the End. I am your host for the duration of the stream, Young Foxy, and I have with me just the 4 best people who apparently all have real good singing voices. I'm just discovering. I don't know how I somehow pulled that one off, but that worked. I'm going to let my performers go one at a time and introduce themselves in the overlay order. So as I call you out, please tell us who you are, who you're playing, where you can be found on the internet, and what's something you think you should apologize for? Not your character. You. Let's start bottom right. Michelle.
Okay. Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm playing Arcane, our little dragon friend who is very, very sad right now. They're using they, them pronouns today, by the way, so please respect that. Let's see. You can't find me on the internet, sorry. But if you want to, you can find me here in our channel's Discord. So maybe, sometimes, occasionally, I show up there. As for what one thing I should apologize for. One thing I should apologize for. That's so many things I should apologize for. What's one thing? I'm not the neatest person. Like, every time I think like somebody like comes up to my room, they're like, "Your room is a fucking chaotic mess. You need to clean." And I'm like, "But chaotic messes are like my thing."
Which is so funny, given that anyone that knows you outside of like your room knows you're probably one of the most well-organized people I know. Like, so that's so interesting to think about. But
you don't want to look at my desk.
musing on that, let's go ahead in the closet. clockwise order. Why not? That brings us right across the bottom of your screen to your bottom left, where we see the incomparable DMF Saint.
Hi, I'm DMF Saint. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at DMF Saint. I'm playing Adam Anthony. Until recently, homeless. I hear voices, probably psychic, and every minute that passes, I am more and more concerned that I am death itself. Something that I think I should apologize for. It's a little heavy. I think I should apologize for not growing up faster.
Oof. Heavy indeed. I'm going to leave people to muse on that for just a moment as we slide ourselves up the dice window to the top of the screen at your left, where we see one of my favorite people, Osara X Franco.
Hi, I'm Osara X Franco. I play Timothy Shade. Illumination is the game name and all of the things that he's about. My pronouns are she, her. His pronouns are he, him. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all the places at Osara X Franco. I do a bunch of TTRPG stuff all around the internet. Something I can apologize or should apologize for. I think I'm gonna kind of like stick in the vein that Saint made. I feel like I should apologize for trying to always fix things instead of just listening and be there for some people in my life that are really important.
Certainly something I think many of us can relate to. I'm going to give the audience just a moment to rest on that as we slide last, but anything but least, just across the title screen and to the top right of the overlay, and landing on the ever-present and effervescent NN9G. G9.
Hey, I'm Leisha Energy 9 or Penny, depending on where you know me from on the internet. And I'll be playing Frey Hollow, our very chill, maybe slightly sad, lovely person. Me and my character's pronouns are she, her. And in terms of something I am sorry for, I am sorry that I have not been able to give how do I put this? To let more people experience the joy of submission and the release that comes with it. It's truly therapeutic.
Valid. I think I need a moment to rest on that one, actually.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I think
Just
we're
ask nicely.
Jeez, guys. All right, we're going to settle back on me for the last of our intros. If you don't know who I am by now, I'm Young Foxy, a.k.a. Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox Philly's finest. I could be found on the internet at Big Foxy, rest in peace. But I'm going to say the thing that I should apologize for is for hurting too quietly for some people. For not being a bit louder when I hurt and letting people know where things are. And for treating that like it meant people didn't care. Because I think we all do that sometimes. We kind of tuck it all in sometimes and hold it on the chin, but still hope someone will reach out. And while there's nothing wrong with hoping for that, it's also important to remember that like sometimes people don't see. So that's the thing I think I should apologize for. Now, I guess I'll leave everyone a moment to think about that if they like. As we slowly push our way back into things. Where we last left off, the party found themselves in the hometown of our dear Arcane. And split almost immediately, as Arcane ran off to take on, well, old friends. The party, braving the new town of Ashpine in a world none of them were familiar with. They encountered strange and fanciful sights, some more dangerous than others. but in the grand scheme of things, were able to happen upon their charge. A turncoat by the name of Tashta, a man who saw his own death coming in a growing battle and decided to hold himself back for the sake of his young daughter. As the party encountered and spoke with Tashta, learned his plight, and tried their best to usher him forwards towards, well, his ultimate fate, Arcane encountered her two friends, her two young wards, and their two killers. As the truth was revealed ultimately, and in the end, Asher and Avoda were prophesied heroes, a hero and a villain. And the story told that the hero would arise from Hashpine and slay two great evils, the sorcerer and the dragon. And so two loves crossed by fate and destiny made the ultimate sacrifice, their best friend, killing Arcane and hiding away in this tower. Emotions were shared, apologies made, forgiveness granted, even if it took some time. Meanwhile, checking back in with Tashta, Tim stepped forward to take the charge, offering the warrior one last duel against the glittering sunlight. And in the end, the decision was made. The party would take Tashta's young daughter, Amina, to the tower where Asher and Avoda are waiting. We rejoin our group in the forest just outside of Ashpine. It is growing later in the day, the sun quickly disappearing behind the mountains not too far behind you. Wind rustles through the trees and offers a sort of slight cooling as you slowly move around the area. You find that as it's late in the day, there aren't many other people out on this road. You're far enough away from the town now that it's mostly just wilderness, but the path is more than familiar to you, Arcane. And as the sun creeps lower and the clouds grow higher, you all have a bit of peace. Tim, I assume you are still carrying young Amina with you.
Yeah.
Frey and Adam and Arcane are otherwise gathered here around, so I'm going to go ahead and push the burden of scene setting onto you all. As I like to say so often, the scene is yours.
The fuck is that sound?
Oh, those are they're. Are you talking about the bats?
No. Maybe? I don't know.
I mean, they're witch lights.
No. Maybe. It's like it's like nothing. It's like the sound of nothing.
Sorry.
I don't do well outside. Well, like woods outside. Sorry.
Well, we're coming up on the path. We'll be at the tower soon.
I don't think it's gonna be much better.
There's not anything dangerous in these woods should avoid us. Especially with the wards that Otis put around the tower. She's finally gone strong. Sorry. So what happened? You guys have a small child?
We found the anomaly. Told him we'd take care of the kid. That about sums it up, right?
It does.
And
See.
these people were taking her to Arcane. They'll take care of her.
There's no people better, I think. I mean, they're both orphans themselves. They're my best friends. And
Tim will adjust the kiddo in his arms and nod.
no one's stronger. At least on this continent, I think. She'll be well protected.
I need 2 things real quick. Adam, I need a roll plus willpower if you don't mind. And Tim, you were the last person using your scanner actively when looking for Tasha, yes?
Mm-hmm.
You get a ping. It's just a reading that there's energy vaguely in the area. Adam, what's that roll?
11.
Oh, fantastic. You know, Adam, as you're hearing this sound like nothing, this atonal lack of sound, this presence of nothing screaming at you, you start to feel a prickle at the back of your neck, just a bit, a buzz about the edges of your brain. Not an unfamiliar one. The best way I can describe it is, as I previously did, like a presence kind of pushing down on the edges of you just a bit. The last time you remember feeling it was on your first mission when you got close to, well, the guy you were looking for.
Mm-hmm. But could correct me if I'm wrong, just from a timeline standpoint above the table. Once we had collected the soul, quote unquote, those things had left.
They all went away.
I did collect the soul last session.
You sure did.
And put it in the bag. Got it.
Mhm.
I'm just confirming. It's been a little bit, so.
No, you're good, bub.
Listen, I know that I just said I was hearing things, but now I'm like actually hearing things. Is there can anyone else like smell something weird in the air? Almost
Arcane.
like ozone.
Arcane will take a sniff while also reaching out with their sort of like magical sense to just see if there's like some sort of either something wrong with like the smell or like wrong like magically.
Any other actions before I describe what happens?
Yeah, Tim with the scanner pinging is, but he's got the kid is gonna look at Frey. Frey, can you check your scanner? I think mine's busted.
So sorry, when you say that, do you mean the ones we got from the organization? Or okay, make sure the trail do that.
Arcane, you feel not a smell, but definitely a presence magically. It's like necromancy, but not, is the best way I could describe that way Arcane would understand it. It's like death, but not. It's not a heavy presence, but there's a flicker of it. And close. Frey, you get what effectively looks like kind of like a sonar ping of register off in the distance of, well, it's not metamortal temper energy because your scanners are default attuned to see that. It's kind of like a green. This is coming across like a very, very strong purple. Single ping of it. You're also definitely getting a very familiar magical sensation, Frey. One that's arguably a little bit more familiar to you than the others. The last time you felt it was also at the end of last session, to give you a bit of a hint. Oh, sorry, not last session. I mean our first session. There we go.
That is odd.
Kind of smells like a lich, but not a lich.
Oh, the fuck a lich is. Does anyone have like a weird taste in their mouth too? Like
You'll
just
see
really rancid.
the light bulb will kind of like get bright and then dim a little bit as Tim
Sorry, I meant your filament.
shifts the baby over to one arm and puts like a hand down on the holster of his gun, not the sword on his back. So what you're telling me is that there's something strange going on, or what? Because I don't see anything, I don't smell anything, I don't taste anything. Just a guy.
Listen, I'm gonna need a more precise definition of strange. 'Cause
Hey,
I'm
Tim.
talking to a lamp.
That is a true
The
statement.
light bulb does flicker.
That is fair, and it should do that. Hey, Tim, you say you don't see anything, and not too long after you go to flicker the light bulb a little bit, Adam's remark, you see something. It
Ah, shit.
is vaguely, well, it's floating. It's vaguely torso shaped. It's got a massive toothy maw in the middle where the stomach would be that is open and chomping with a long tongue flickering out from the end of it. In the maw, you can see this curtain of colors, not too unfamiliar from something you've seen before when transferring or when moving to May. And floating on the either side of it is a large clawed hand. As just kind of slowly, the hands lumber on the ground, but the torso still floats and is not connected to the hands, but it all kind of move together as it just kind of is slowly padding its way about.
Yeah. The second Tim sees that gun is out of the holster on his hip, pointed directly at it with the baby like held back. What the hell is that?
Wait.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
You being quiet?
It's like, wait, Tim.
That's exactly how he said it. I'm not gonna try and retcon. What the hell is that?
It stops moving.
Like immediately afterwards, like Arcane's just like, shh.
It stops moving. Doesn't do anything else, just freezes for a second. Kind of pads the hands a little on the ground where it's at, the tongue lapping out the air around it. Frey, as you're
Where
looking... Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, where is this thing in relation to the rest of us?
It's now that Tim has pointed to it, you all can see that off to like the tree line, about roughly off to like your right. It's about 30 or so feet from you all, like visible clearly. You all can see this thing now. There's not like the tree cover isn't so dense that you can't see it, and there's still enough sunlight you can kind of make it out pretty vaguely. It's frozen about a good 30 or so feet from you all, just kind of padding back and forth with the air. And Frey, it's as you are like looking at the scanner and seeing it, that little purple visual on the thing solidifies into the exact same shape that you're looking at, and then the information pops up, registering it as what 217 Ayala called a tracker. It's a veil spawn.
They spawn of them. I think we need to go.
Okay, where do you suggest we go, Arcane? Adam, didn't you do the thing that you did last time?
Damn it, if only it was bigger.
I thought we were done. I thought they didn't show up after we fixed the stuff.
I don't understand why you think I know what's going on.
Frey's been sorry, I know you described this and my brain is smooth. Does the veil spawn have eyes or
Nope.
any kind? I know it has like a monster. Nope.
No eyes.
Okay. So Frey, I guess, just staring at it in general, kind of tilt her head to the side. And then I think she's. This is such a bad idea.
I love bad
'Kay.
ideas.
You should
Go for
absolutely
it.
do it.
You should
Go for
absolutely
it.
do it.
She's going to try
I'm gonna
to. She's gonna try and initiate contact with the Veil Spawn.
How do you want to do that?
Gonna try talking first. What
Pres-
brings? Yeah, just kind of like and talking loud enough so she thinks she can hear it. Doesn't know if it has ears. Gotta guess. What brings your path to intersect here?
It turns and locks, like, I can't say eyes because it doesn't have those. It locks mouths with you, Frey. Mouth to mouth. Mouth to mouth contact sounds weird. Never mind. Scrap that entire sentence. That didn't happen.
Clip it.
It's looking in your direction. If it had eyes, it'd be looking at you. We're gonna go with that.
Mm-hmm.
The bulb in Tim's lampshade will do the flicker, but it's not the like annoyed flicker. It's like a scared, like an anxious kind of flash. And he's gonna take a step kind of back as this thing looks over at us, trying to keep this baby tucked away.
It's funny.
Arcane's got like wings, just like Frey's like definitely talking, so like, but like Arcane has like literal wingspan, just like pushed up in front of like of Tim and Child.
Aw.
Adam is hiding behind Tim's lampshade.
It's funny. So I can answer everyone's question. Pretty straightforward, actually. I'm gonna both answer Frey's question and address what's just happened. As you ask this thing, why did its path cross yours? It looks like it's either looking at the Adam that's hiding behind Tim, or the baby. I'll let you guess which one it is.
Tim's holding the gun out still, and like sees, kind of does one of these. Son of a... It wants the kid.
And as you say that, it shakes a little and then just screeches. Just belts, mouth wide, saliva flaring out of its void mouth. Just lets out a good 17, or starts screaming. And it's just sitting there screaming.
I'm taking shots at it. Yeah, like the second it starts making noise, shots fired.
Tim shooting, roll me plus agility. Frey, you had an action.
Well, that might affect the shooting, but we're kind of going at the same time. So Frey, like, as soon as it starts screaming, just like, okay, yeah, pass. And like, kind of in reaction to the screaming, which I'm sure it can't be heard by anybody else over the screaming, but it's like, you've chosen a thornier path than I expected, but it is your choice. And is going to slam a force wall into that thing, into whatever nearest obstacle there is.
Cool. Tim, give me, what was your roll?
It was bad.
What was it?
It was a 3, I think.
Yeah, that's
What I'm
it looks
seeing.
like.
So a fail for sure.
That's certainly a fail. So, here's what happens. As like I want to acknowledge both things that happen. Tim, you cracked the shot off. It would have hit center mass. Honestly, you probably would have hit neckline on a human being. Biggest problem is, it's a floating torso, no neck. So unfortunately, that one just kind of sails right by it. It reacts to this by lunging at you, and the tongue kind of like lashes. It slaps across you, take exactly 1 damage. And you kind of like, you dip back. Doesn't get to the kid at all. The kid's perfectly fine, but it does kind of like slap across like the top of like your shade a little bit. Sends like your shade kind of spinning in a circle a little bit as you're maybe a little bit dizzy by that. Not a moment after, a wall of force just pancakes this thing into a tree. It gets quiet. Real quiet.
Guys, it's time to go.
Should leave.
And then it gets pretty not quiet. As you start hearing scurrying and movement in the trees about you.
Frey, yeah, honestly, still pretty calmly. I agree. Time to go. Finding folk path. And is gonna try and basically her intent is like, okay, what path is best to get us away from the current threat? Is the thought she has.
Okay. While I'm thinking about that, are there any other actions to what's happening currently?
Yeah.
What you got, boss?
I need everyone to go with me for just a second and not be concerned when I ask this question. I'd like to use premonition, my ability. Which, as a reminder, means I get to ask you the outcome of an immediate action.
Yeah.
If I take it.
Yeah.
And you have to answer the likely outcome, honestly. For chat. What's going to happen if I give this thing the kid?
I knew you were going to ask that. You fall into yourself, Adam. It's the strangest feeling. Like, out of body experience doesn't feel like you leave your body, but that you sink into your own consciousness for a bit. It's black, all about you for just a moment. You see several things happen. The first is you seizing the child from Tim. You just take. Tim is staring, you assume, in shock. The next thing that happens is that you hold the child up. You can see creatures coming all about and gathering around it with claw and teeth. The next thing you see is, well, those claws descend upon the baby. They gather it up. There's a black morass that surrounds your arm. And then it starts crawling down you more. And at that point, you start recognizing it's not just the kid. It's anything that's wrong. It's all of you. You give them the kid, they just devour the rest of you. And in fact, you give them the kid, more probably come.
So I want to ask a follow-up question, and I understand if you don't want to give me the answer.
Go.
Does that outcome feel right to me?
Damn, Zay, you're good at this. Does it feel right to you?
Like, does it feel like the way the universe is supposed to be?
So I'm going to answer this. And if this answer is a bit too vague, let me know and I'll try to clear it up some for you. Does it feel like right? Does it feel like the way the universe is supposed to be? Yes. Somewhere in you, Adam, you feel like this is what, if the universe itself, if the meta construct of this universe you exist in, however big or however many realms it contains, if that had a consciousness, you feel like it would want this, what you're seeing. But you, Adam, are not normal. You are connected to death in a very unique way. All of you are, obviously. But you, more so than maybe most. Does it feel right to you, Adam? No. Unfathomably wrong. But the feeling you get when you think about how wrong it is, it's not discomfort. It's not ickiness. It's sorrow. Just abject sorrow. The universe wants this to happen. But it's the saddest thing you can ever think of happening to anything ever.
I'd argue against that. However, my action, if I'm allowed that, would be to shove Tim. Like in stride without trying to trip Tim, but shoved him faster in a direction away.
Fair enough. In that case, I'm gonna have you roll strength, and we'll see how that one resolves itself. I want to get some rolls out here.
I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
I just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said take a damage. I have 2 armor though.
Oh, in that case, then yeah, they don't have no armor, so you're fine.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, you're good.
With a -1, that's a big old 5 there, Chief.
Oof. You pushed him as you all start to see many-limbed, pale-skinned creatures of teeth and claw that you've seen before, skulkers, begin to crawl out from the trees. A pack or 2 of them. Not too many that you couldn't fight off, maybe as a group. But Adam, you recognize this, and in panic, perhaps, you turn to push Tim. You give Tim a good shove. In fact, you shoved Tim into Arcane and Frey a bit, so everyone's kind of pushing forward, like obviously we're going. You trip and fall over, though. And one of these things, as you fall over, just leaps on you. There is now a skulker literally on top of you, Adam, just trying to get claws into you. It's got a mouth open like the void, and I don't know what a space between life and death smells like, but you're smelling a whole fuck ton of that right now. I imagine it's kind of like hot dog water.
The poor boy in me just cried.
Listen, fam. We all know what it's like, dog. We've been there. We've been there. So you all, Tim, you feel a shove at your back as you are pushed forward into Arcane and then into Frey. You all stumble forward in a clump. It's a pretty hard shove. You get a good couple feet. And then you all turn as you see skulkers begin to gather in the trees around you. One leap down and pin Adam to the ground and begin to try to wrestle with him. Here's how. Go ahead, please.
I'll go for it.
I was gonna say, yeah, go ahead. You're fine.
Tim's seeing that shit's kind of breaking bad, and assumes that Arcane's the only one that knows where the hell we're supposed to go. So as he gets shoved, he's gonna turn to Arcane and kind of bark. Not actually bark, but the tone of voice is going to be, "Where are we going?" As he tries to make sure he keeps the baby safe, but is getting ready to shoot at the skulker that's trying to eat our friend.
I think at this point, Frey would hold out her hands for the child so you can have. And not gonna make Tim give the child to her. But,
no, for sure. If you offer, Tim is handing up that baby so he can get his sword out instead of this freaking gun.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, Arcane, anything from you?
Arcane is just first off, Wing is currently probably being a little bit crushed by Tim right now. It's just okay, through the woods, underneath that mountain over there, big tower, their wards should be safe. And I think the first thing Arcane is going to do is just lift their wing over around Tim and just give a big flap while trying to push wind both push them forwards while also trying to direct wind to attempt to basically hurl wind in both directions, hopefully so it'll also hit the skulker on Adam, but if it doesn't, that's fine too. But that's just trying to just give them a little extra distance.
Okay. So, go on.
I just want to say real fast, because it's important, if I have any awareness whatsoever of Tim turning to fire on what is attacking me, I would do everything in my power to wave you off. Like, shake my head, stare you in the face, wave you off. I don't know if it's something I can do in this like time economy, but
Yeah.
I would try to communicate non-verbally that like just fucking go.
Tim probably registers and does not care.
Imagine leaving friends behind, right? So,
Yep.
I'm gonna frame the scene real quick. Here's what's happening. Frey is now taken on young Amina into her arms. Arcane has yelled instructions as to how to get to the tower and then flapped both wings to provide a burst of wind that is moving Tim forward and also pushing at the skulkers as more are coming down from the trees. Adam is on the ground wrestling with one. Tim has sword high and is prepared to run in to defend Adam. Adam is locking... I, again, can't say locking eyes, but you get the point. Making a gesture at Tim to very directly indicate, do not do this. Tim does not seem to give much of a damn and is coming in to help their friend anyway. And as this is happening, as this scene is keying itself up, we are going to go over and take ourselves just the briefest of breaks. Hate to cliffhanger you, audience, but please stay right there. Don't touch that dial or that browser, and we will return in just a moment to give y'all the lowdown on how this is going. See you in a bit. Bye-bye. And we return. Welcome back to After the End, folks. Where we last left off, the party has encountered some Veil Spawn. A tracker had their eyes on them and the young child. Its screech brought forth a grand pack of skulkers, one of which seems to have Adam straddled right now, rather non-consensually. At least I'm assuming so. I don't know, maybe, you know. I don't know what you're into. Regardless, the party is springing into action. Tim has sword and gun out and is charging forward. Arcane has sprouted wings and offered a gust of wind to assist. Frey has the young child in hand and has found a flow path, a sort of guiding path through the forest that transits sort of through a winding path. It actually cuts a hard left off the forest path at one point, up through a hilltop. That looks like a kind of, if you can cut across that hilltop, will get you straight to where the tower is. It's almost like a shortcut that even Arcane maybe didn't think about because they usually either fly there or just take the path. But it's definitely faster than taking the path and probably not as fast as flying. In either case, just before Tim charged into battle, Adam tried to wave him off, which Tim didn't seem to heed. So we're going to tap back in with Adam, it sounds like.
How far are the wards?
Let's go with
Calling out to
Frey.
Frey.
Frey, go. Answer. How far are the words? You just give me a number.
Anyone. Literally.
Oh, okay. We will have to run for 2 more. We'll have to run for 2 more minutes, and we will arrive.
Can I get a sense of how far you can run in 2 minutes?
Sure. Can I do an agility check for that?
Absolutely.
6. Not great.
So with a 6, 2 minutes of straight running is definitely going to get you there, but you're certain that the distance that covers, Frey is probably thinking about covering a good mile or 2 nonstop in like a sprint. If y'all were to do this more rationally, like not just sprinting in a mad dash and praying your lungs don't give out, it's probably a bit more reasonably like 10 minutes, maybe? Who knows? But Frey is right that if y'all make good time, y'all can get straight there. No question. That's assuming
Cool.
You guys run, though.
Cool. I will look directly at Tim and say, just make it to the ward. Wink and reach my hand into my bag.
Very well. That appears to be happening.
Tim hears what Adam's saying. I think he's already geared up for a swing, and is going to try and take out one of these like at least get the swing off to hit one of the skulkers. before starting to run. But again, he's trying to make sure that Frey and Arcane have time to DTFO. So here's like you'll see the lampshade tilt forward in a nod, but he is still taking that swing.
Give me a roll.
Okay. Was that a strength roll?
I'll take strength for this, yes.
Yeah, but why is it so garbage? That's 6.
Oof. You
Am I
swing.
you just have to click the button, right? You don't add anything?
I think that's how that works. I'm pretty sure. What did it roll for you? Let me get a look for you. I can double check for you. Give me exactly 10 seconds.
I'm pretty sure it's right, but I wanted to make sure.
I'm double checking. Looks like 2d6 is 12 plus. It did include your 1 for strength. Your strength was plus 1, right? So yeah, I did include that. So
Yes, perfect.
Oof. Yes. So
It's
then,
all good.
So with the 6, you slash at the skulker. It is trying to go for a bite at Adam as you swing. So it effectively involuntarily ducks directly under your swing. This does mean that I'm gonna say Adam takes 4 damage.
From the swing or from the
Hang on.
creature?
Let me make sure that's what skulkers do. Yes, they do. Yeah. From the creature itself. As it kind of like tries to come in, like bring its jaws down on you and like clamps on. I'm gonna say like roughly like your left-ish shoulder, kinda. Not piercing too painfully, but it's definitely getting a good grip on you.
Cool. Do I get a sense that that's like its strength, like what it's gonna do?
Yeah, about.
Cool. I will wink at Tim again.
Yeah, Tim's pivoting to make sure that Arcane and Frey are running.
And as you're pivoting, so too will the camera pivot, swinging around to check in on Arcane. What you up to?
So Arcane is right now they're kind of analyzing, just like thinking about frantically trying to analyze the scream that the tracker gave off, and if they can just silence that scream, maybe they'll stop attracting more skulkers.
So, you want to get a sense of like how it's doing it?
Yeah.
Can you roll me plus intelligence?
Okay. We'll see how this goes.
I know.
Arcane's oof. I rolled a 1.
Oof.
That is a
These
4.
rolls tonight.
Yeah, y'all,
It's
listen.
not okay. I'm changing my color. Get the fuck out.
I almost feel bad. Arcane, you reach out trying to remember what it felt like when the tracker gave out that bleeding screech. It's hard to tell because it wasn't screaming for too long before Frey pancaked it into a tree. So you don't get too much of a sense of it, but you know you definitely physically heard a scream. Like a sound went out and is like and echoed about the tree through the forest. So it definitely at least has a guaranteed physical component to it. Is there more to it? You're not able to tell right now. Thankfully, there doesn't appear to be any other trackers around.
But they're always in pairs. Is what.
You're right. Fun fact, this track is called Zombies from Outer Space. I think it's the coolest shit in the universe. I'm such a huge fan of this song.
It's very good. It's very good.
Big banger.
Like, fucking slap. Thank you, Epidemic Sounds. Any case.
Okay, if Arcane is going to do anything else, besides, I guess, like, going with, Frey and possibly booking it, Arcane's gonna try and see if they can't... They're going to, I guess, let out their own sort of just, like, yip, and try to see if they can't find any similar resonance to this tracker. Although, actually, really, like, Arcane has completely forgotten that they have a very, very, nice scanner that they should probably be using, but no.
Nope. You let out this magical bleat, almost, Arcane. A sort of sonar pulse of magical energy to sort of check out the area around you. You can feel the stench of the skulkers all present around you. There's maybe a good dozen or so of them in total all about you all. Behind them, there's a similar presence to what you felt in the tracker. You wager it would be the other pair, but it doesn't feel the same. It's heavier, darker, bigger, a lot bigger.
Fuck! Is that a devourer?
Yeah, and it's coming closer.
Yeah, is Arcane is just going to... Guys, there's a fucking devourer. We are booking it. We need to go now.
Was that not what we were doing?
Nope, we're running. We're running.
Yeah, I think at this point Arcane is gonna just try and... They're not even gonna try to pick up Tim because I'm pretty sure Tim is way taller. But Arcane is just going to try and pick up and Arcane is kind of a small dragon, so they're person sized, but imagine a person sized dragon trying to pick up a person Frey and just wings beating, trying to just fly and be okay, direct me, Frey, but they're just going to try and go beeline straight towards the tower.
Arcane runs up, puts two hands on Frey, and lets forth a blast of their wings. Arcane, can you roll me strength while we pan the camera over to Frey? How are we reacting?
Frey will kind of take it in stride because this is like a ride, right? A little different, but that's fine.
That's a complication, but hey. 7? Frey's not Arcane's not a very strong dragon. They're kind of tiny.
So, Frey, can you give me a roll plus intelligence to make sure you're following your path, real quick?
Yes, that's fine. No problem. 13.
Ah, that's much better.
Yeah.
So,
You pick the magic stat.
here's what happens. Arcane, you get your hands on Frey. You pat your wings as hard as possible. You both take off. Tim and Adam, you both watch as Arcane gives a solid flap of the wings and it's almost like a really, really hard jump, just as they take off for a bit. It's not true flight. You can see the arc to their path, but they're moving. What strikes you as interesting, though, is something is also moving as you're watching them go over the tree line. You see in the distance some trees moving. And then suddenly you recognize that those aren't trees. It's the back of something. A huge shape, mountain-sized almost, cavernous and large, begins to ascend itself over the backs of the trees. A long, slender, hand-covered limb with far too many fingers leans forward and plants itself on the ground, rumbling itself. Arcane, it's interesting. You almost didn't feel this thing. The Devourer you felt, and this isn't that. In fact, this wasn't in whatever Ayala's briefing gave you all. It's huge, though. Bigger than the tower, you can see in the distance. It slowly begins to shamble itself forward, one hand leaning itself down, another putting itself on the ground, and then dragging its stomach in a trough across the ground. And as you're looking, in its wake, there is a wound in its side, and shapes are not bleeding, but skittering out of it. It is, however, not moving towards you all at all. It's not following the Arcane and Frey that are jumping. It's not moving towards the Skulker group that is attacking Tim and Adam. It's just ambling its way along in some nonsensical direction. You get a glimpse of
What
this.
the hell is that?
Good question, actually. I don't know.
Tim is just trying to help Adam get up off the ground. Like, he sees that. Cool. Great. Tries to take another chop before trying to get out, or wait to see what Adam's going to pull out of his bag, rather.
So, as if Adam sees you going to like take another swing, he would try to act before you do.
Yes.
Through like gritted teeth with one of his shoulders in this creature's maw.
Yeah.
First of all, I have 2 questions that are actually super important.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any indication of the direction of the Devourer at all that I would know?
I'm gonna say yes, in fact. It's as you're kind of like with this creature's maw on your shoulder, looking at it, you get a glance across. Down the road, from all the direction you guys came from, there is a humanoid shape with 6 arms moving.
Came from is all I needed to know.
Yeah.
And then my other question is, can I get a sense that when Arcane is taking flight, the arc is high enough for me to still see it?
Yes.
Great. Through gritted teeth, I will say, I swear to fucking God, go. And then I will pull a handful of souls out of my bag and say, here, boy, you want some kibble?
It lets up off of your shoulder. Kind of tastes at the air, focuses on the hand holding the souls. Give me an agility roll as it tries to nap at your, like literally bite your hand off.
I automatically fail the roll. I want my hand in his mouth.
It just clamps down on like your forearm about.
Mm-hmm.
Your hand is fully in its mouth. It feels tingly. Not like organs and internal systems, but like space.
Fucking go.
Like, I feel like this happens pretty quick. Like, pulling out of the bag, like, it's happened. Tim's gonna... Oh, shit. You've put me in a spot, bud. Tim's gonna... Jesus fucking Christ. And he's going to take a couple... Like, is going to start moving away towards... like, where Frey and Arcane are... hoofing it for, but is leveling like as many shots as he can at the other skulkers like approaching, because I know it's not just the one. But he's
I would have tried to wave a little bit too to get the other one's attention before I let it go into his hand.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me agility?
Okay, it's not gonna be great. Yeah, it's not great. It's a 4.
Uh-oh. So thankfully, as Adam kind of waved a hand to draw some skulkers in, you let off a couple shot like rounds from the weapon. Sort of flares of green energy start flying out. A good couple of them hit skulkers and start to just evaporate them. Just they go up in puffs. One hits Adam, actually. A round hits you. You feel it hit you, but doesn't cause any pain. Just kind of like it's like someone just hit your shoulder, like kind of slapped your shoulder really hard, Like, oh, that happened.
Damage?
None. It's almost like it doesn't affect you. And the last thing that happens, so Tim, you're backing up, putting off shots as you're letting off rounds. You don't notice that there's a skulker just behind you, Tim. It lashes out from behind you, and you kind of hear the bleed it lets out. You turn and able to kind of like elbow it. Like you catch it with your elbow as you're kind of spinning about. It still gets a good slash at you. I'm gonna need you to take 4 damage.
Only 2 because I have 2 armor, right?
That's what I knew.
D-
So you kind of take a slash again, like it kind of rips at your jacket and your suit a little bit, but otherwise it kind of, you're still able to catch it enough that it kind of goes spiraling off from his ankle. It doesn't like land on you. You're able to definitely still keep going. And this is where I leave the choice to you. Do you keep moving or do you stay here with Adam? Much that I love this game, by the way, guys, because I really love this game.
I feel I've got to just make a choice.
Uh-huh.
I just have to make a choice because I'm conflicted. And...
Oh, I know this roll.
Uh-oh.
I love these rolls.
Okay. Yeah, no, the skulker comes down and it takes a gash out of Tim's arm and it kind of shakes him too. And he looks and watches as Arcane and Frey are kind of making it up over the trees. And is gonna and turn around, dropping the gun. Like he's not gonna fuck with it anymore. 2 hands on the sword. And is just gonna square off and move back towards Adam. Yeah.
Adam, you notice that Tim does not appear to be running. He drops the gun, adopts a 2-handed stance. There's a ring of skulkers that are all kind of just sitting around him and moving in circles and bleeding as he's preparing to delve into combat. I guess this is where I move it back over to you and see what the hell you got planned here, boss.
So I'm confirming that my hand being in this thing is not causing me damage. It's just slowly devouring me.
Yeah.
Great. My next action honestly would not happen until Arcane and Frey do something else.
All right. In that case, why don't we swing on over to them real quick? Arcane, you are midair. You see something massive dragging its way on its stomach across the forest floor, away from everything else. What's most interesting, though, is that the path it drags, the trough it drags behind it in the dirt, it doesn't go very far. It goes maybe a 30 or so feet behind it, and then it's almost like it never passed behind that. You get a slightly closer look and you recognize it's not that it just popped in 30 feet behind itself and then started walking. The trough it leaves behind it is repairing itself. Trees and dirt reshaping itself in the path of this thing slowly, like an insane kind of reverse entropy.
What can... Because I feel like the first thing Arcane is going to look at is not just that weirdness, but also the big gaping wound on this creature.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does Arcane notice? Arcane, what do you see with your dragon eyes?
Damn it, I was trying not to say it. With your dragon eyes, Arcane, you notice that open wound, much like the open mouth of the tracker or the skulker you saw before, looks like the veil inside of it. And the things that are pouring out of it are skulkers. There are skulkers dripping and bleeding out of the wound and skittering off into the forests. They are dispersing in all kinds of directions, just everywhere. Like they're looking for something.
Hey, can I ask a question above the table?
You sure can.
No, because I would know that. Never mind. I'm not going to ask it.
Okay. You want to ask it, though.
I really... But it's too meta. I can't ask.
Fair enough. Arcane, anything else? What you doing?
It's like, okay, because it's leaking skulkers. It's like, is this just like a massive, like, rip in the universe? Is like Arcane is just like, okay, do I fix it? Do I keep going. And I think at this point,
Well, I should mention, in case it wasn't clear, the wound is in the side of the creature, the thing that's dragging itself across the forest floor. It is like an open wound on the side of it that is bleeding out skulkers.
yeah. Damn.
Damn indeed.
It's like feeling torn between like, but I think Arcane's going to put getting this child to safety first. So Arcane is going to is just going to, I guess. Actually, can the other two is this visible to everyone else?
Who?
The big gaping wound.
Oh,
or is it just?
Well, the wound, no. Only you and Frey can see that because you're up above and can see it. The rest just saw kind of like its back and its arms kind of moving as it's dragging its way across the forest floor.
Okay. Then Arcane is just going to. Guys, I don't know what the heck this thing is, but it's bleeding skulkers. I don't know if this is a source or something, or if it's. Anyways, and Arcane's gonna leave it at that and just try to just keep flying, and is going to try and use try to use magic to get a boost to their speed by pulling the wind towards them.
Roll me plus willpower. As you are moving a gust of wind behind you to push yourself forward, this thing, this traveler, name drop, is still again slowly slugging its way across the forest floor on its, stomach mass that is its body. It doesn't appear to have a head, much like the trackers you saw earlier, but it does, these sort of long flayed finger hands that it has, as they're digging rents into the sort of forest ahead of it and pulling itself forward along. It almost... How do I explain this? Well, it seems like the skulkers seem to have a goal. You can see that they appear to be flocking about the forest to look for something. This thing, again, like previously I mentioned, doesn't. It's almost moving aimlessly. But I'm gonna say with your willpower, as you're drawing in your magic, you can feel unquestionably this is a Veil spawn.
That's a 10.
With a 10, wind gathers behind you. A light, warm breeze as the sunset begins to set more. You elevate and ascend, and you are pushed. And you are brought, honestly, with a perfect parabola arc. You land just in front of the wards outside of the gates of the tower.
So, that's what Arcane does.
Mm-hmm.
Frey's gonna do another what is probably will either not work or work too well. I feel like are the only options for what Frey's thinking of. Because Frey has used the room where, people's fates were. She got to use the loom and everything.
You sure did.
And Frey is also able to connect with people with her, with kind of between connecting with people with scanning and also finding flow paths, whether that, especially for being called a traveler. So Frey liked to use her knowledge of all the different fates she saw in that weaving room.
Mm-hmm.
And finding flow paths about this traveler's journey to see where it started. Because it moves aimlessly, but how did it start? And that's her goal.
So, because of what could happen here, I am going to gate this behind a roll. You will gain information no matter what the result of this roll is. Here's what's gonna happen, because it's gonna be some shit. With the +1 redeemed from Tyrant, go ahead and roll that for me, please, Alicia. While I patch back over to... We'll check back over with Adam real quick. Let's find out what Adam is doing.
Intelligence.
Yeah, the jump would have triggered my next action.
Yeah, intelligence is fine. I can take that. So you roll that. Hold that result. Let me know what it is in just a moment. Adam.
So I'd like to argue that this just works for me.
Mm-hmm. All
Um,
right, debate me.
I'm gonna argue that I still need a roll though. Adam mutters under his breath and actively pulls this creature away from Tim, trying to flip himself over and grab onto Tim's ankle.
Okay.
And looking in the sky, timing the arc as to when Arcane is just about to disappear, I'd like to use my jump power that I just gained.
Let's go ahead and read it out for the audience. Tell me how it works.
Once per scene, I may teleport instantly to a nearby location I can see.
All right.
I'd like to argue that I'd like to roll to try to take Tim with me.
And you want to go...
I want to go to Arcane.
Roll.
I'll do this in the thing because it's a big roll.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think it will be seen anyway because my rolls are showing up on screen, but not sometimes.
What do you want me to roll for this?
My argument says willpower, but I'm willing to hear any other argument.
I mean, willpower makes sense to me because like I'm not supposed to be able to do this.
Yeah, so let's do this. Let's do willpower then.
Okay.
What you got?
It's a 6. It's a 6.
In a blink, you and Tim vanish. The Skulker does not come with. There is a pop of greenish light. Both of you are gone. Where you reappear is how to do this. I got this. Here's what happens. Adam, when you open your eyes, it's dark. Incredibly dark. There is no forest. You're definitely not outside anymore. You're inside. It's a building. There are windows and a ceiling. There's a little bit of light creeping in through. But other than that, it's completely dark. There's no light on. You really can't make out what's in this room. The air feels a little old. Just a little old. A little dusty. You can hear just beyond the walls. You can hear just kind of the general ambience of civilian life, it sounds like, mostly. Bits of it. You also hear an air conditioner.
Are the souls still in my hand?
Mm-hmm. And your hand is also still around Tim's ankle, as Tim is here too.
I put my hand back in the bag. I don't think it worked how I wanted it to.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, literally
Where the hell
no
are
fucking
we?
clue. Literally no fucking clue.
Tim is going to I mean, Tim's a lamp. So I imagine that like his bulb is somewhat like lit in this situation. Is there like a soft globe just around his lampshade?
So here's the thing. When Adam grabbed your ankle, Tim, you fell over. Kinda, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your light was kind of on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting up. Several things happen. I'm going to explain them thusly. Tim, you look up, right? light spreads around the room. Just before this next thing happens, you get a very firm idea of where you are. You and Adam can probably get a idea of where you are. You only now know where you are. Like, you're pretty certain you know exactly where you are, though.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing that happens is you, all of you, all four of you, hear a voice in your head. Not yet. And with another flash of green light, Adam is gone. Two things happen, lastly. One, Adam pops back in to where you intended to go, actually. Boop. Frey and Arcane, just as you are coming
just
down.
Grabbing onto the leg, as you're coming down, probably come down a little bit harder, but just to try to ride you down a little bit to soften my fall, because I don't want to just pop in and die.
Mm-hmm.
Arcane just dips a little bit because they're
Yeah.
super tiny, so it's just where did this come from?
You all land in a bit of a pile, but you're able to make it work without breaking anything, so you're all mostly okay. That voice is still ringing in all of your heads, though. That voice that said, "Not yet." And Frey, it sounded real familiar. But you just can't tell where.
Can I tell if I tell you the result of my roll?
Oh, you absolutely can't tell me the result of your roll.
13.
It's your father. So, I'm going to do the following things. Sorry, go ahead. Please, go.
That's also very, her eyes kind of flicker very quickly, and then just similar calm voice. Fuck.
Frey, are you okay? Did you take any fall damage? Arcane has never heard Frey curse. It's just starting to pat Frey down. Is no damage.
Not physical. Not now. Safety first.
If there's a sense of where the wards are, I would grab you both and pull you towards them.
They're right in front of you all. You all land right in front of the tower.
Yeah, I would grab both of you guys trying to figure that out and just yank you inside for protection.
In the chaos and commotion, as all the noise has been happening with that massive thing dragging itself through the forest, you notice that there are two figures who are in the castle courtyard, the courtyard of the tower, and are already looking towards the gate as you all arrive and as the gate opens. They look at the three of you very confused, see Arcane in your midst, and just immediately seem to be fine with this and just usher the lot of you, the three of you plus a small child, into the room. Strangely enough, though, I got two things to do before we slide over to a quick little break. Frey, you were checking on something before Adam described his actions. Can you remind me what that was? Or more actually remind the audience.
Oh, so I was using Frey was using her experience with with the loom fates, the room where all the fates were in, and also with finding flow paths, whether that be of people or places, so on and so forth, and being able to communicate with people, scanning all that knowledge, try and figure out where the journey of the traveler started. That's
that was what 13 was roll. I remember now.
13 plus 1 is a 14.
All right, so let's work some magic real quick, shall we? Frey, you are feeling a lingering something cling about you. A lingering feeling like familiarity cling all around you as you're thinking about that creature you saw. You visualize the flow paths and see your friends and where all their paths and journeys have come from. You think of the traveler and you connect yourself briefly with something. And as you're trying to get a sense of what this thing comes from, where it leads, you're feeling yourself almost lost, unable to find a clear path when, I don't know how better to describe it, a hand just guides you along. Just a gentle shift of perception. And there it is. Now you see it. The traveler comes from the veil, from beyond. It is not a creature that hunts or seeks, merely one that, well, travels. As you start to pierce its way through the many realms it has traveled, the worlds diverse and unique it has seen in its great wake, you see where they all lead. And there's a figure in a room, at a chair. His head is low in his hands, and he's tired. So tired. You can feel it. And there's a power in this person. They can undo all they've done if they wanted to. Will they? You blink again and you're in the courtyard with your friends, the moment fading from you rapidly. You hear, only you, Frey, actually, hear that voice again, just as familiar, just as remindful. Help him. Help him. And then it fades. I want you to sit on that for just a moment. Don't you worry, we're going to come right back to you, I assure you. But before we do, before we cut to our break, we cut back over to the only member of the party who's currently isolated. Tim, your light fluorescently shines all about the room. It's a little cold. You can tell because of the AC. It's quiet. There's a shelf off to one side with some books scrawled and unorganized, not alphabetized. A desk with a laptop with some stickers on it. A lamp. An iPod, maybe. She also still refuses to make her bed. You're in your daughter's bedroom.
Tim's going to just look at everything. He's just taking every single detail that he can in this room in, convinced that, like, this is some sort of fucked up trick. But he's gonna, like, squeeze any good moment he can out of it before it's gone. He's gonna look at the bed and try to see if the stuffed rabbit he got her when she was 3 is there. He's going to look at the bookcase to see if all of her awards are there, check the desk for the pictures of him and his wife. Look at the dumb boy band posters that he made fun of her for hanging up.
You're looking around the room, and not too much has changed. The stuffed animal is there, but it's on the shelf now, top of it, hanging next to a track award and a volleyball trophy. There's some pictures of friends under there, some books. Some of them look pretty educational. Some Sigourney Weaver, autobiography of Malcolm X, things like that. But other stuff just seems like nonsense teen drama. The desk itself is... There's no sense of organization. There's no way you can tell where anything is supposed to be, even. There's pens and papers and notes and snack wrappers. Teenager shit, you know. But there's a picture right on the end of the lamp. It's 3 people. A man, a woman, and a little baby. Out by a lake, just up against a tree, watching the sun glitter off the water. You don't even remember who you got to take the picture, do you?
No.
Doesn't matter.
It was probably some couple. There's always too many people at the lake.
The picture's there. Doesn't look like it's changed much at all. The room otherwise looks a little aged up. There's a few less boy band posters, but the one she was really picky about didn't move. It's still right there. You're taking all this room in, enjoying it all, and just before we head to a break, the door opens. And with that, we're going to come right back, everybody. Don't touch that dial. It's getting a little intense in a little bit. Grab a drink, maybe a loved one if you could. See you on a little bit. Bye. And we return to conclude today's session of After the End. The party is once again a little split. We have 3 still in Ashpine. Arcane, Frey, and Adam are now in Arcane's former castle. Asher and Avoda having brought them in, seeing all the chaos and calamity happening all around them. Tim, however, due to a bit of teleportation shenanigans, we're going to say it that way, on the part of one Adam, has found themselves home. It looks like just as the door to a very familiar bedroom opens. Tim, as that bedroom door opens, what do you do?
Tim takes a step back. Like, he can hear there's a board right a couple steps like before the door. He knows this because he would have to try and step over it in order to make sure Shelly didn't catch him busting her for reading too late. But she didn't, or they didn't care, rather. So they, he heard that board creak. He would take a step back next to the bookshelf and hold very, very still.
You step back behind the bookshelf, perfect stillness blending into you, and you're almost able to sort of fade. You notice the mechanical body you've been given for movement almost kind of shifts in color and tone, giving you the ability to sort of perfectly disguise yourself in the background. Unless someone's really dedicatedly looking at the spot where you're at, no one would see you.
I'm using my outlaw ghost ability.
Indeed. You notice a woman enters. She's aged a fair bit since you last saw her. How old was she when you last saw her, actually?
Jana? Oh. She's a couple years younger than me. I think we just celebrated her 50th.
She's aged well. Not too many more wrinkles than you remember. Just a few lines of stress here or there that come with a life, but beyond that, with a furrowed brow, she fusses about the room, tosses a blanket here or there, picks up a book. She's not cleaning, she's looking for something, looks like. She tosses about for a bit longer until eventually she arrives on the desk. Shell, it's right here, she says, and picks up, looks like the iPod on the desk with the headphones still attached to it, dangling it back and forth. And she moves to the door. There's a hand that kind of comes into the doorway, just, no, Mom, let's look. It's fine, I have it, I got it. Just see me downstairs in a bit. Jenna kind of rolls her eyes, teens, and exits just as another figure enters into the room. If you don't mind, could I have you describe Shell for us?
Yeah. She's about 5'6". Slender build. She runs track. She looks like her mother, except for her eyes. Those are her dad's. Bright, piercing blue. She has red hair that Tim kind of breathes a sigh to see that she hasn't dyed it. She always threatened to or wanted to, but he thought it was beautiful just the way it was. And it would be tied back in a messy bun. She'd be dressed in just a plain gray t-shirt with jeans that have holes in the knees. Not for, like, fashion reasons, but because Shell just has a way of being rough on her clothes, on her stuff. A tomboy through and through.
And she kind of teenage stomps her way into the room with all the usual swagger and carelessness of someone in their late teens. She's fussing about her room for a while, tossing the blanket that her mother just tossed one way, the other way, moving a few blankets, a few books here or there. She actually goes to the shelf and starts staring at it for a bit, looking at the various books, considering which one she wants to go over. She picks one up, turns it around for a bit, puts it back. She sits on the bed, a little quiet, doesn't say anything for a bit. Almost just savoring a moment to herself, like she needed it. Is there anything you do right now, Tim, or do you just remain there waiting?
Tim's entire, like, body is screaming. Like, you know when there's something that you want so painfully bad? Just, it feels like every single molecule in your body is, like, willing you to, like, move or do something. But you know, you're too stubborn, or you've convinced yourself that, like, it just can't.
Yeah.
Tim is suspended in that moment of his entire form, feeling like he just needs to move a hand or raise something or anything, and his mind is screaming at him to just say something, take a step, just move so she can see. But in his heart, he is calm. And he's quiet because he promised himself that she'd never see him this way.
I'm gonna leave you suspended right there, Tim. I think you're watching as she, again, just leans back on her bed a bit, takes a hard breath, just sits in the quiet for a while. She's also gotten a little bit older. You wager she's probably just shy of 20 now, maybe. Can't imagine what school or life is like. She's got a bag on her, so you wager she's still going to school. But other than that, she just kind of sits there. She was definitely looking for something, but she's enjoying the patience, just taking a pause. And father looks at daughter in this moment of quiet, as just for a bit, we'll fade our way back over to our other three. Arcane, Frey, and Adam, along with young Amina, you are all brought into the castle courtyard through the gates, which are immediately magically slammed closed. You see magical red lines begin to work their way all around the outer walls as the wards reaffirm themselves over the space, keeping it magically safe from outside. Adam, the moment the wards realign themselves, that pressure all around your mind snaps away. It's faded.
Wards. Looking at Arcane and pointing where the red things were.
Yeah.
Adam just sits down and leans
Evoda steps forward and just, yes, my wards personally. Arcane, I didn't think I'd be seeing you so soon, and you brought company.
Well, I didn't expect to see either of you two again so soon either, but I'm glad.
As am I.
I don't think we'll be able to stay too long, but Frey?
Yeah.
My apologies. Let me, I guess, introduce my new colleagues.
Please.
This is Adam, and this is Frey. And our third party member has Adam. Where's Tim?
I don't know. I told him sorry, I told him to run, and he didn't. And then I tried to take him with me, but he didn't come. But he's a bright person. He'll figure it out. Get it? Because he's a lamp. Right. Sorry.
I guess in either case, this is Evota and Asher.
Evoda gives a low bow. Just, Evoda the Crimson Sorceress is what I'm usually called, or what I was before I supposedly died. She smiles.
Yeah, not gonna call you that.
Asher just offers another kind of like salute and just Asher, please. I sense you two were out, or you three were out in the forest. What was all that commotion?
I think it will pass once we leave here.
And what makes you so certain of that?
Fate.
I have a bit of a qualm with fate, Asher says, with a bit of a scowl on his face.
Many do.
He doesn't say anything else and kind of just leans back a bit. Evoda flicks him on the arm. Just don't be rude. You all are allowed to be safe here. Whatever's out there, until it passes, just remain. And Who is this you have with you? She says, indicating the small bundle in Frey's arms.
Oh, I believe the name this one goes by is Amina.
Oh, dear. And she's so pretty. Yours?
No, under our charge, though.
I will not ask how that came to pass. Everyone has a story. I am glad to see that all 4 of you, are safe. If one of your group is missing, should we go looking for them?
I'm not sure that's necessary. I believe you will arrive when it is time.
If the fates will it to be so, Evoda says, again kind of flicking Asher. Please, come inside. Sit for a bit. I'm not sure what brought you all to our door, but I'm assuming Arcane told you all to come here for safety, so please, come inside.
Thank
You guys were definitely grown up.
Evoda smiles at you, Arcane. Doesn't say anything, just offers a nod and a smile, and then moves to the door, opens it, and lets you all into the foyer and sort of beyond there. You all are definitely certain that most things won't be able to get past those wards, and so a sort of sense of relative calm passes over you. Frey, you are still bombarded with flashes and brief images and half remembrances of what you saw. It still kind of clings to you for a while. And you're left to kind of process that for a bit. What do you do with that information?
What does Frey do with that information?
Mm-hmm.
Since it's still so fragmented and she's still trying to remember, I don't think she tells the rest of the group, not necessarily because she wants to keep it a secret, but she doesn't know how to proceed yet with it. So I imagine what she's mostly doing is she's probably kind of gonna find a corner to sit in, close her eyes, and sort of try and sift through the images to make more sense of it.
Adam would have tried to catch your glance a little bit, probably, because I think we've established in a couple scenes that like we know a little bit about both of our psychic abilities
Yes.
in each other. I think Adam would have tried to silently communicate to you like that he knows something's going on with you, like just with a nod, maybe. That like when you're ready you'll talk, but like you're among friends kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and Frey would acknowledge it and probably say just like when I figure it out, I'll tell you.
Even if you don't. Even if you don't. And then Adam hunker down like
Adam's going to sleep. He's a nap. It's been a long day. As Adam settles in for a nap, Evoda goes to sort of grab a bit of refreshment for you all. Asher goes to prepare some chairs for you all to sit and be comfortable in, and you're all kind of left with a bit of peace to kind of relax and think over things. Adam in one sort of hunkered down corner, Frey in another, sifting through thoughts, and Arcane processing as you need. And I think with that, we shift right back over. Tim, my dear Tim, you've been sitting here for a while, listening to pretty much nothing but the air conditioner and her breathing probably for just a bit, watching, taking in the sort of way she processes through her feelings. She takes some time, kind of just tries to pose and process, and you see her several moments. Take a breath in and let it out. Take a breath in, let it out. And where I normally would gate this behind a roll or an insight check of some kind, my father knows his daughter. You know that as the kind of look when there's something on her chest and she just isn't sure how to get it out just yet.
Tim, Tim knows he can't just stay here. And he was tempted to just kind of wait her out, you know what I mean? But like seeing her try to like process through something is just unbearable. Like to be so close to like the people that he loves more than anything, but being unwilling to bring this weird into their lives and disrupt it. Tim's gonna try and is the door still open?
The bedroom door?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's not revealing himself, but he's going to reach up, is like painfully slowly, like is just as slow as he can, just terrified at any moment she's gonna see up to the drawstring of his lamp, where there's a small handle with a ring around it. And he's actually gonna like pop like the handle off and grimace a little bit. And the ring's gonna slip into his hand. It's an actual ring. It's a wedding band. And as carefully as he can, he's going to try and toss it into the hall to like make noise outside of the room and draw her attention. To see if he can't get her to look away. His plan's to try and sneak out the window.
I'm gonna need a roll from you for that one.
Okay, what you need?
What you think makes the most sense?
I mean, I don't like it, but I mean, agility makes the most sense. It's just also my worst stat. The only other, or maybe like willpower, like just the steady hand of calm.
I will accept either. And Tim, do you have the stealth training?
I have sneak, yeah. I
Yeah,
have the
so
sneak
then
skill.
so that means you can re-roll one of your d6s.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the willpower then. I would like this to work. I'm not gonna re-roll shit. That's a 13.
13. That's a huge number. You are able to nestle the band into your like against one of your fingers and flick it. It sails, smacks onto the floor in the hallway. She peeks up and leans over and tries to like begins to kind of move her way into the hallway, trying to see what the noise was. She's now like at the threshold of the room, leaning out into the hallway, looking down, like looking up and down the hallway.
Tim's then going to try and like, with her looking away. Okay. Is going to quietly grab the chair from the desk and kind of lift it up and move up behind her very quietly, and just say softly, "I love you, Shell." And he's going to push her outside of the room, close the door, and move the chair to, like, keep the door closed. Like, he's pushing her into the hall. Like, he does not want her to see him. Out into the hall, closing the door, chair underneath the doorknob.
Oof. Yeah, I'm not gonna put a roll behind that. You give her a solid shove. You can hear a gasp, just a, and then you shove, slam the door closed, and shove the door into the under it, as a crux to kind of keep it from opening. You can hear the handle be jiggled with a little bit, and then you hear a voice. Dad? Dad, is that you?
He doesn't wait. Tim's been in several situations where he's been in a place where he should not have been and has been busted. So utilizing that skill set, he's then going to move over to the window of his daughter's room and just start cranking that bad boy open. He is absolutely going to jump out of this window.
You are cranking the window open. As you're cranking it open, you look down on the desk, which is right in front of the window. You can see that there's a laptop, like I mentioned, with some stickers have covered over it, some school books, textbook she hasn't opened in too long, honestly. And there's a sketch pad. On it is drawn a man in a suit with suspenders. But when it gets up to his face, it's not that it's not there, but it's like the person drew their skin to be so bright it exudes light. So bright you can't make out the facial details because their skin is just illuminating. You can hear a knocking on the door and then just, Dad, I know. I know.
Oh God, this is so hard. This is muy difícil. Okay, yeah. Tim's gonna stop. He's gonna stop opening the window. And look at the drawing. And there's gonna be like a beat where he doesn't really respond, but Shelly will hear the door move or the scrape of a chair against the floor. And the door will open. He's not gonna open it wide, but he'll say in a low voice, "I don't want your mother to hear."
She just kind of says, I'll keep it down then. And you can hear a shakiness in her voice, but there's a resolution to it. Like she's preparing herself. And after a moment or two, you can feel a slight press against the door as you're holding it.
Yeah, he lets it. He'll take a couple steps back into the room and he lets the door open.
The door opens. You're looking face to face, or lampshade to face, with your daughter. She looks up at you, takes it all in for a moment. You can see the corners of her eyes well up with liquid, and then she breaks into laughter. Just a riotous, nonsensical chuckle as tears stream down her face, pour across her cheeks, and she just sits there trying to wipe them away. Just, you look so freaking ridiculous.
He just holds his hands out to his sides. I know, tough kid. Bring it in. Then holds his hands out for a hug.
She throws herself at you, slams her face into your chest, and just bawls. I knew. I, I didn't know for certain, but I knew you weren't gone. I've always known. We talked.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't explain it. I can't make sense of it. I stayed with you as long as I could.
You shouldn't be sorry. I should.
No, Shell. No. None of this is your fault. None of this has ever been or even remotely close to your fault.
I could still hear you. Every day. Every day until the very last day. I could still hear you. I never stopped hearing you. I just... Sometimes you can only hurt for so long, you know, Dad?
I know, Shell. I know.
And Mom and
It's
I...
alright.
We just... I needed her to get better. And I knew she wouldn't until I stopped hurting so much. And I knew I wouldn't stop hurting until you left. And I knew you wouldn't leave until you knew I was okay. So... I moved on. I tried to. I'm sorry.
It's alright, Shell. It's alright. You did the right thing. You did the right thing, kid. You did the right thing. You're a good kid. Tim tries to, like, go to kiss the top of his daughter's head, but he just bumps his fucking lampshade against it, and the light bulb will do that, like, there's been the annoyed flicker, you know what I mean? But this one is just... It's almost like the bulb nearly goes out for a split second, because he can't engage or be the way that he wants to be in this moment, and that is gutting to him. Listen, child, I can't stay here. Not like this. I gotta... I gotta go.
Like right now?
I mean, as soon as I can figure out how to not be here anymore. God damn it, Shelly. There's just a lot.
She pulls at your arm. Hard. Not hard enough to, like, throw you too hard, but clearly trying to pull you towards the floor. Do you let her?
What? Yeah. What are you doing?
She pulls so that you kind of sit with, like, almost like sort of sitting in, like, meditative position with your knees out.
Mm-hmm.
She shambles until she is laying her head in your lap. School's going okay. I'm a senior now. I got in a pen. I'm
You're shitting me.
Yeah. I don't know. My essay looked really stupid, but they took it for some reason. I'm thinking law. I don't know.
What, you don't want to take after your old man? Break into houses? Learn people's secrets?
Dad, I can be Indiana Jones in video games whenever I want. I think you're cool enough to do it in real life.
No.
I still got good friends. Elizabeth and Jessica, they're still cool. We still hang out every now and then. We're busy with college stuff, but you know. Fun fact we just found out, Elizabeth's mom thought you were really hot.
That's awkward.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Don't tell your mom. She already kind of thought that was the case,
That's fine.
particularly after that bake sale.
I remember that. Oh, I didn't want to go to school for a week. Everyone wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, well,
Tell you what, I won't tell Mom that if you don't tell her there's a boy.
yeah.
Yeah. Sean, we share a couple classes. He's really into D&D, and he's the biggest freaking nerd in the world, but I don't know. I think he's kind of cute.
Does he come to the door when he comes to pick you up? Or does he do that pussy shit of waiting in the car?
You told me I couldn't date a boy unless he came to get me at the door.
Damn straight. Kick his ass. He's kind.
The kindest. Reminds me of you.
Well,
A little less abrasive, but
we can't all have my charming personality.
yeah. There's only one you. I know that.
Your mom?
Managing. Some days are better than others. I don't think she's ever really put it all back together, but she's good. She's good. We're good. You know that, right, Dad?
Listen, there's nobody tougher than my girls. I knew he'd be all right.
You made sure of that.
I am gonna need... Yeah. I am gonna need you to find what I just tossed out in there. There was a surprise for your mother for our anniversary. Tell her you found it in the crawl space.
Yeah. No problem. I'll go get it right now, all right? Don't go nowhere, okay?
All right, Phil. I'll do my best.
She slowly hops up out of your lap, goes to the door, opens it, looks back, smiles at you, makes her way past the door, and just as she crosses the threshold, you can feel a warmth start to heat up the air around you, Tim.
Tim's gonna kind of look at his hands and get really nervous about no, fuck, no, not yet, no, because he's convinced he's gonna get borked away.
You can hear footsteps make their way down the hallway, stop, a slight scrape off the ground as something is picked up. Aha! There it is! Okay, and footsteps start making their way back down the hall, and just as they start to reach the apex of the door again, you start to feel green light build up all around you.
He's just as that green light's building up, he's gonna try and like stand up as fast as he can, and try to make it like to the door as he does. Like, Shelly, I gotta go. Shelly, I'm sorry. I gotta go, kid. They're taking me. I gotta go.
She looks shocked, but she settles her face as hard as possible, takes a good, quick breath, sterns her jaw, and just like you taught her. I know, Dad. Thank you.
I love you. I love you forever. I love you always. And no matter where I go. Yeah.
I never stopped loving you, Dad.
Yeah. Be good. Be kind.
I'll see you on the other side.
And with that, there's a pulse of fluorescent green light. Everything goes bright. And when it settles, you are just within the gates of some fortress. There are magical lines trailing all around the outside of the walls. There are birds still chirping in the now cold night air. You all who are in the hall see a brilliant flash of light coming from the courtyard. You scramble your way over to a window if you'd like, or just look up, or remain sleeping. Totally fine. But out in the courtyard, after a flash, you see your missing compatriot, Tim, right there. Good as new.
Yeah, seeing the light flash and knowing what color it was and going through the same experience, Adam would kind of just lift his head and be, Tim's back.
Frey cracking an eye open. As I said, did not need our help. Welcome back. Closes his eye again.
Asher and Avoda just look up. Ah, your last friend? Very well. Do ask they be a bit more, less flashy with their arrival next time, please. And they go and open the door. And Tim, you see the sort of front gates of the castle fling open as what can best be described as what look to you like D&D characters, open the door. There's a knight in armor and a woman in crimson sorcerer robes that fling open the doors. They're like, you are Arcane's friend, yes?
Tim will stand for a minute, and he's going to take his hands and grip them tightly, balling them into fists. And his light bulb's going to flicker. Yeah. Yeah, I reckon I am. Who the hell are you?
We are friends of theirs as well. I take it explaining would take a bit of time. Please, come in, make yourself comfortable. The rest are in the courtroom, just resting.
Tim will take his long, gangly strides, just where they gestured, in.
You enter, you see the three of your friends. Frey, are you still holding Amina, or have you put her down?
Nope, still holding Amina unless somebody else decided to take Amina from Frey.
No? Well, you see the three of your friends. Amina still being held in Frey's arms. Asher and Avoda are behind you, and you are now rejoined with the group. You all see Tim walk in with Asher and Avoda.
I told you to run.
Yeah, well, you don't pay my mortgage. You don't sign my checks.
I don't pay your electricity bill.
No. I would not say you're the one that keeps the lights on around here.
All right, that was a good one.
Even Pascal.
Is everyone all right? You make it okay? That thing's still out there?
Sure. Arcane is currently brewing a pot of mist grass tea and is just pouring out cups for everyone.
I want some mist grass. That sounds like some good shit.
Goes to Arcane is just like placing like little porcelain like teacups just in front of one in front of everyone, and then goes to hand one to Tim, and is you can drink, right?
The bulb flickers.
I'm pretty sure Tim's old enough, yeah.
Like, Arcane has no idea what you're talking about.
The lampshade will turn to where Adam is sitting, and he'll just take the cup and saucer from Arcane, just staring in Adam's direction before turning to Frey. So what's the plan? I imagine we're not planning on sticking around here, huh?
No. Again, cracking the eye open again. Our journey does not stop here. I don't know what the next leg of it is. I'm trying to piece it together.
Tim's gonna move over to just an open chair, and sit down in it, placing the saucer and cup in his lap as he does, and kind of like that awkward, like, oh yeah, I've got a sword on my back, where he takes it off and sets it down, and look at the rest of the group. Okay, well, Adam, you want to tell me what the hell that thing you did was? Or is that just something that you can do now when I just need to accept it? Much like he gestures over to Evoda and Asher. Just like all.
Yeah. You know how I kind of just knew that I could take that soul?
Yeah.
And there was that kind of moment of calm and peace that came over me right before, and I just did it.
Mm-hmm.
Same fucking thing. I just knew that I could do it. I didn't know if I could take you with me or not.
Right. And after, there was a voice. You were gone. Not yet. Do you hear that? Or is that just a special thing that I feel that just happens to me sometimes now?
I'm gonna take a little liberty here, and I hope it's okay. Yeah, we all heard it.
The shade will shift between Arcane and Frey. The hell you say?
Arcane looks a little surprised, but nods. They're actually starting to. They found the cookie tin and have started to like basically have a small tea party with their with their friends while they still can.
Asher and Avoda have just fallen into form, like almost like they're literally having a conversation with each other. They just fallen into form, just like sat down at the table, or just enjoying snacks and tea with Arcane while having a full conversation. It's decorum for them at this point.
Is this true? You heard it too?
I heard a number of things.
Tim's gonna just kind of raise and set the teacup up and down on the saucer before getting frustrated and setting it on the floor by his feet. Right, so you got the kid here. She should be safe, yeah. We all agree. Kiddo's safe here.
I agree.
Get back to headquarters and debrief about all the places that we went and all the voices that we heard. What do you think? I mean, it's been a day.
All
Yeah,
of them. Yeah.
What was that, Frey?
Nothing. Yes. We should debrief. Yes. Yes, the child should be safe here, but I suppose we should ask our arcane's companions.
Ivoda, at that point, looks up. The child? You wish to leave her here with us?
Our journey is not a safe one for a child.
She looks over at Asher, who looks back over at her, panic on his face. Just you think we can you think we're ready for that? I don't know if we're you think we're
Oh, stop. Nobody's ready. You would be fine.
He stops talking, doesn't say anything. Ivoda, for her part, just holds her head down and blushes a bit.
Arcane gives a little bit of a chuckle. It's just Azure, you were the most put together out of everyone in town for the first 10 years. I think you're gonna be fine.
I hope so. Ivoda gets up, starts to walk over towards Frey. Just
Frey will stand up too.
Mm-hmm. Can I hold her?
Of course.
She takes little Amina in her hands and brings her back over to Asher. Asher leans over, just. She is pretty cute. Squishy. It's gonna be a lot, I guess. Any of you have them? Looks up at the group.
Yeah. The lampshade will just kind of tilt up.
Asher looks over. Something in the tone of your voice does make him frown or flinch a bit. Just advice, if you have it, would be appreciated.
For you? Teach her what it means to love and be loved. Show her worth every day. And know that you will never be able to measure it.
Thank you. I will keep that close to me. You all best be going now. Oh, sorry, Adam. Yeah.
Give yourself room to not be good enough. It's okay.
Thank you. All of you. This will be a new leg in our journey, and it will come with difficulty we're not prepared for. But he touches the young little girl's face. Just, I believe I once read that's the joy of fatherhood, is the unexpected. Yes?
Triple diapers.
They nod and sort of indicate to you all that, like, we understand and thank you all for your time. Ivoda waves a hand, lowering the wards. Just, whatever that thing was, it's past now. As if it's gone from this realm entirely. Regardless, it's safe for you all to travel from here. By your own leave, be safe.
Safe travels to you as well.
Tim picks up his sword and does a pat down, realizing that he has in fact lost his sidearm. Son of a bitch. Well, all right. And he's gonna make the dad sound as he gets up out of the chair, sheathing the sword. Is gonna walk past Arcane and kind of like ruffle the top of their head. And offer a hand down to Adam to kind of help get him up off the floor.
I'll take it.
He'll pull you up, clap a hand on your shoulder. I'll teach you swords if you teach me that thing that
Shoulder
you did.
next time.
Oh. Well, sorry. Dominant hand, all that. You'll be all right. Tap, tap.
Yeah.
Builds character.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I can. Yeah. Sure. Fuck it. Why not?
Next time you make the self-sacrifice play, just say that's what you're doing.
I really thought that when.
Well, now we know who's more stubborn, huh?
Oh no, I always you.
Ray, you ready to go?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, but I have to. Let us go.
Adam will look at the sorcerer-looking one and say, "What's your name again?"
Evoda the Crimson.
You said more than that last time.
Evoda the Crimson Sorceress was the full title.
Yeah, no, I'm still not calling you that.
That's
Your wards, right?
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder how this one teleported in and then just leave.
Evoda's eyes go wide and just... For something to have to pierce my field, it would have to be a being on the scale of... And just starts nerd babbling. And Ashley's like, oh no, you got him going. You got her going. Dear lords.
Tim's just gonna look, and the lampshade will swivel to Adam's retreating back. Then back to the sorceress. I don't know what the hell's going on ever. He's just gonna follow.
Arcane is just like walking backwards, right? I think Arcane's tail is like currently curled around someone, most likely Frey, and is just walking backwards and is just like magic babble like going off with like Avoda,
Oh, no.
and it's just like listing out like, okay, well, magical theory number 13, you can find that in the, like, I remember there's in the library behind the secret room, don't forget, and like is just trying to like spit out as many secrets of like the of their tower, and it's just
Evoda takes it all in, laughs back at you, and honestly, you can see her well up in a few tears as she notices that you're leaving finally again, but still laughs and smiles and says yes at all the random babbling secrets you throw out.
it's like, I'm sure you found all of like half of them already.
Mm-hmm.
But
I guess that last leaves us with Frey, yeah?
Yeah, I think if Arcane's walking backwards and has their tail curled around Frey, I think Frey's faced around the other direction to make sure that we don't bump into anything we're not supposed to. And just because I think it'll be funny to do it this way, I'd like to roll a pilot to make sure we don't run into anything.
Do it.
Okay, that's, I don't know. We'll do that for this. 9.
You're walking, it's perfectly fine. Everything's going perfectly well. Just as you are at like the threshold of the last door, Arcane goes, oh wait, one more thing, and like tries to like yank back and just smacks you right in the side of the door.
Arcane, please.
oh, Frey, I'm sorry.
Please. Please.
I love
Please.
you. And Arcade's gonna turn around, pick up Frey, and just go, not looking back.
What is it with your characters and picking people up? Anyway. So, you all make your way out of the courtyard. I'm assuming the plan is pop up on a portal and head back to May?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
As they step out, Tim, it's hard 'cause, again, he's a lampshade. He's gonna watch as he's tracking Frey a little bit, because there's been a couple of times in the last little bit where she's normally very calm, cool, collected, and a little space cadetty, but she's seemed a little more off kilter, and Tim can't quite. He's an investigator. He's clocked it, so he's gonna watch as the two, kind of come out, and is he can't see it, but is squinting, like doing one of these.
Love it. So,
Would you say he's switched on detective mode?
oh damn,
110%.
I got it. Switched on. Yeah. Well done.
Wait, did a light bulb just come on over your head like you just got an idea?
It's almost like he's trying to shine a light on this issue, on this topic.
I am going to Roblox myself. Please stop.
Yeah, as soon as they come out though, Tim's gonna be punching in, the coordinates for the portal. And as it opens, he's gonna kind of nudge Frey with an elbow. You all right? You good?
I am good.
The light bulb
Thank you,
dims.
Tim.
Never know what the hell is going on. Steps through the portal.
You all step through the portal. You slide through the veil. It closes just behind all of you. And rather than showing you popping back up at May, we will end with the portal closing and the idyllic, moonlit, rolling fields of Ashpine as we slide our way into a conclusion. When my father asks me why I don't go to church anymore, I smile and I show him my hands. Let his fingers trace every scar on them, see all the places they are covered in someone else's blood, and tell him God don't know me no more. Tried to say his name in another language, but to him, I believe I'm a lost cause, or just lost. My father sees my hands as testament. Some dark sign that we don't pray to the same God anymore, that his is one of love and mercy, and mine is one of vice. One of symbiosis, me, a parasite that latches itself onto all the good parts of God and tries to drink from them, and God, or whatever other dark thing I worship. Bleeding back sacrament unto my dried lips, I am given all my father's sins and made manifest. Given a name and a mouth to say it with, twin hands to hold the words, and called progeny. There is something to be said about all the things our parents do not want to give us. My father and I often debate death. He tells me there is a heaven for the unworthy, a heaven for the worthy, and a place full of fire for the damned, and I can never tell which of those he sees me in more often. My father makes too many mistakes. I'd like to believe that I'm not one of them, but he's tried to correct me a few too many times, so I guess I'm just a persistent one. Or one he keeps making. My father's eyes are the brown of the schuylkill, who once sat by its mouth, and he laughed at how many bodies are likely hiding beneath the surface. It's strange how trauma can be genetic, and so can coping, and so can alcoholism. I'm not saying I blame my father for how much I drink, but I never understood how one man could worship intoxication until I watched my best friend die. And I guess that's a metaphor for memory. And I guess that's a metaphor for overindulgence. But if God is a vice, then people can be church drunk. My father is church drunk. His chapel is the living room couch, and his choir, the muted screams of all the people he's dropped into the bottom of a bottle, and most of them are dead. And most of us remember them as the reason he doesn't smile. So I don't separate the man from his God. Instead, I join the choir in rejoicing, and we pray together. Me, one more screaming voice in my father's rapture, and my father, the only other person who knows death as well as I do. We worship. Two dumb, drunk men with the host of our friends turned angels all around us. until the pain numbs itself at the back of our throats. We remember, and we remember, and we remember. I want to thank you all for tuning in to another episode of After the End. Another heavy one to come back on. Sorry about that. I have been Young Foxy, your host, and I guess that's all I've really been for the duration of the stream. These have been my fellow storytellers, and I would like them to go around and tell us who they are, who they played today, where they can be found on the internet, and what other cool stuff they got going on before we get ourselves out of here. Let's start at the top right with Alicia, also known as NG9.
Oh, hey, that's me. So I'm NNG9 over on Twitter. No, 98 over on Twitter. I tweet things. Sometimes it's snake pictures. Sometimes it's stuff I'm in. You never know. We'll check it out. And speaking of stuff I'm in, you can also find me over on the Hollow Flames podcast. I play a wannabe announcer sorcerer. Very, very, very fun times there. So you can follow that over the Twitter account is @HollowPod. Go ahead and listen there. We upload episodes every other. Sounds right. And if that's wrong, follow the Twitter account and you'll know for sure. There are probably some other places I might pop up, and I don't know. But again, if you want to keep up with me on Twitter, that's @NNG98. I also stream over on Twitch, normally on Sundays nights. It's a crew, typically with a couple of buds of mine, sometimes just by myself. So it'll be might be a Ticket to Ride, might be a monster camp, so on and so forth. Other than that, just remember to stay hydrated.
Hydrate for you, dehydrate. Moving on, just below to the bottom of the screen as we move past the chat window. Moving down to Michelle.
Hi.
Hi.
It's me, Michelle. I played I played Arcane, our dragon. I wanted to say dragon child, but like that's not really accurate.
Dragon
yeah,
young adult?
Young adult, that counts, right? But yeah, you can not find me on social media.
You cannot,
Sorry.
actually. How about that?
Maybe not. But you can catch me sometimes occasionally. Hey, shut up.
Dragolescent.
Okay.
That's pretty good, not gonna lie.
Okay. But yeah, you can sometimes find me on our Discord channel, so you know, maybe catch me there. But otherwise you can catch me on Sunday playing Violet Sea with this guy as the captain. And you can also catch me next week on Tuesday GMing our Bladesville campaign. It's gonna be a doozy.
Folks, I smell boss music. Y'all don't want to miss it. Like,
yeah, it's the well, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one, and I'm fairly certain at least one person's gonna die. Sorry.
listen, it's all right. I accept it. I appreciate it, and I move on and accept it. We're gonna slide right across the screen. I'm tired, y'all. Over to Saint. Say bye or hi, whichever one you feel like is appropriate.
Hey, that's me. I'm DMF Saint. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at DMF Saint. I also run things over at twitch.tv/nat20 spelled out. Next thing I got coming up is this Sunday. Morningstar. I'm sorry. Plains Garden Company returns again with, if I'm correct. Yeah, I mean it's you know what? Screw it. Let's just do the spoiler. Part 1 of the 2-part season finale.
Yeah.
Because of some choices that they made, they kind of sped past a couple things, and we're there pretty much. So
that's hype. That's super hype.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Beyond that, I'm in Against the Tides on Nat 20 as Turley, the Tortle Life Cleric Tortoise. And that's going bi-weekly soon, so that's good. And then I'm also I also won my round of Iron GM on TPK Roleplay against Mr. Foxy. It was a wonderful competition, and
well-deserved
it was
win.
very close. It was very close and a well-deserved, like, near win as well. Sadly, Sarah did not win, so I'm going up against a much feared competitor. I think Sarah and I would have had a fun competition, but I'm scared of the competition. So That's coming up. I
see,
can't give you the
yeah.
date. I can't remember.
Wait, hold on, Sarah. Does that mean it's
Yeah,
me and
bud.
you in the consolation
Yeah.
round?
It does.
Yeah, but
Oh, they're fucked! Oh, give us the belt! They lost! It's over!
I know.
No. Get right out. Get right
I know.
out.
Like-
It's on like Donkey Kong. I'm just gonna
Like-
run around and spray silly string everywhere. It's gonna be awful.
It's gonna be so
This is-
good. I can't wait.
This is why I expressed my disappointment in Sarah losing. Anyway, that's what I got going up. So next.
We're gonna slide
Oh,
right up to
Yeah.
you, Sarah. Say bye.
hi. Yeah, that's me. Hi, I'm Osarix Franco. I played Timothy Shade is the name, Illumination is the game. I have to do it, and I have to do it right. And it was delightful and very good. If you like my face and the words I say sometimes, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all of the places at Osarix Franco. I do a variety of TTRPG content here on Neon Lights Roleplay and across the internet. The next time you can see me doing that thing is going to be on Saturday over at TBK Roleplay in the morning in Dark Echoes, a Curse of Strahd campaign. And then immediately after, I co-host a GM talk show called Murder and Coffee with the incredible Luke Alok. We have Tony plus EXP coming on to talk about team brewing, and that's going to be great. And I'm very excited because Tony's delightful. So come sit down. Let's talk about teamwork and the power of friendship and humans being humans at our tables and why it's so important. It should be a really great conversation. You can see me Sunday in Plainsguard and Company, and then Monday over on Tony Plus's channel for the final episode of Solar Side, an In Extremis campaign run by Keegan, where we are trying to kill the sun. We are necromancers who are murdering the sun. It's very good and just as buckwild as it sounds. Against the Tides next Wednesday. And whatever else is coming up, you can check my Twitter because I'll tweet about it probably for sure. Just a huge shout out. It's so good to be back in this campaign. It's been too long. It was wonderful. I love all you guys. And pushing over to Foxy.
That me. Hey guys, it's Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite fox. I could be found on the Twitter sphere at BIG_FOXXII. Where you'll find me next, who knows? We'll figure that out. More importantly, though, you can see me on the internet around here at Neon Lights Roleplay, doing all kinds of stuff. The next place you will see me anywhere is tomorrow over on Weave the Tale for Into the Stormlands, a Pathfinder 2e campaign, where I play a rogue named Taya, who is really sad and kind of edgy and is definitely human. Don't ask any questions. Other than that, you'll see me over on Colian's Warm Hearts, over on TPK Roleplay on this Friday. And then I will be back over here on Neon Lights Roleplay Saturday for a recorded, penultimate session of Core Hearts. Can't wait to deal with that. And then back live on stream for you lovely folks here on Sunday, playing the most chaotic bi-pirate captain in the world, Captain Dre, for you all in the Violet Sea. Looking forward to causing problems on purpose for my DM and fellow party members. But beyond that, that's really all I got here, folks. I just thank you all for a fantastic and wonderful session. Thank you all for the folks at home for viewing it. This campaign is near and dear to me for many things, mostly because it deals with a lot of some heavy sessions that, that definitely kind of push I think all of us to think about things a little bit more intently than I think, any of us have to on an average day. But because we have this great group that holds everyone up so well, we can get into those things without feeling like being afraid, and I appreciate you guys for, holding yourselves up, holding each other up, holding me up, and continuing to do that every time we play. You guys are great and incredible. This wouldn't work without you guys. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Make sure you guys can take care of yourself for the night. We're going to figure out who we're raiding today. Looks like we're going to throw our raid over to Ark's Dragon Breath, my good old friend who's playing some Bloodstained Ritual of the night. We're going to pass it over to him. Say hi, say hey, and make sure everyone's doing good. I've been Young Foxy. This has been my cast. We've been After the End. This has been Neon Lights Roleplay, and you all have been wonderful. Please take care of yourselves, be safe, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.